Let's do the three big themes for where we stand here on this 5th day of September. One is the American League West, and the fact that the Blue Jays are making a push makes it much more interesting because there's a chance that one of those three teams in the AL West, and right now I would say Texas, will not make the postseason. The Rangers have been terrible. 13 of 17 they have lost. Their bullpen's been terrible too. Evan Grant, in a moment, we'll talk to him. They haven't hit a lot. I mean, listen, it's just been a misery scenario for the Rangers team, losing a lot of close games, including some games in Minnesota. They can't beat the Twins, which is hard to believe. They lost 5 out of 7 in Minnesota in a span of 2 weekends, and have had a couple of injuries, and they just really have not been able to settle down at 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. And this is a situation where you have to be very concerned if you're a Texas Rangers fan. Seattle, I think, will get in. They were due to cool off a little bit. They were playing so well. Had a tough series in New York against the Mets. Kirby was sick, lost that last game. Cincinnati's playing for their lives, so that's a tricky series too. They will go to Tampa after this series against the Reds, and then Seattle basically is done as far as long West Coast trips are concerned. So I would not rule it. I think Seattle will win the division. As you look at Bochy there watching his bullpen implode, I think Seattle's in decent shape. They got the best pitching. They have obviously lots of games with Houston and Texas they have to play, but I like Seattle. They've been good for such a long period of time. Houston, of course, will figure something out too. Yankees were all pumped up over the weekend with their young players getting big hits. The catcher, Dominguez, getting home runs left and right, and the Yankees welcomed into Houston and pounded the Astros, and the Yankees are going to win some games right now. It doesn't mean anything, but the Yankees are going to finish strongly, and Houston kind of ran into a buzzsaw. Astros bounced back, as they always seem to do, with that good performance yesterday in Arlington when they had that big explosion. So I think Houston and Seattle are going to make the playoffs. So to me, it really comes down to Texas, and can they hold on with Toronto on their heels? And remember, the Red Sox trailed Texas by just 4 games. I know you're going to say, why the Red Sox? We had that feisty discussion with Dan Shaughnessy about it last week, about 10 days ago. I mean, the Red Sox do have a series in Texas, 3 games, and I'm only 4 out. And the Red Sox also played Toronto 3 games, so at least head-to-head. I don't want to completely eliminate them. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I want to completely eliminate them. It looks like Texas and Toronto will fight for that last spot in the AL West. We'll keep an eye on that. Remember, the divisional winner here will get the 2nd seed. Minnesota will be the 3 seed. And, of course, Tampa will be the 4 seed if they don't win the division. This is what I don't like, is that if you're better off as the 6th seed instead of the 5th seed, the 5th seed right now is Houston would have to go play Tampa in a wild card series without a home field, while the 6th seed would have to go play Minnesota in a wild card 3-game series. And that's a much easier series on paper than the Rays are. And they should make it record, not divisional scenarios, but we've been down that path 1,000 times. Bottom line is, right now, we got 4 teams for the 3 spots in the American League. I'll eliminate the Red Sox at the moment, with the 3 in the AL West, and Toronto, who's playing Oakland right now, and they're liable to go out there and beat 2 more games against the A's. So that is item number 1 here today as we kick off our broadcast on this Tuesday morning. Item number 2 is the NL, and again, it's not as juicy to me because I have trouble getting wrapped up with teams, basically flirting with 500 who have a chance to make the playoffs, and that's essentially where you are. Atlanta's going to win the division. We know that. Milwaukee's only got a 3-game lead, but right now Milwaukee's in pretty good shape. They're going to win the division. Obviously, the Dodgers are going to win their division from that standpoint. Philadelphia is going to be the first wild card. Phillies will figure out a way to get that home field. And right now, you got to say the Cubs will be the second wild card, and that means the Cubs and Phillies will figure out where we are now as far as home field is concerned. Cubs would like to catch the Phillies to get the 3 games in Wrigley Field. Phillies do have tiebreaker, and there's no tiebreaker game, so keep that in mind. But that last spot comes down to, at the moment, Arizona, San Francisco, Miami, and Cincinnati, and none of these teams impress me. So I'm not sure what sort of spark this is going to create with this 6th seed scenario in the NL, and this is the danger. Now, I'm all for it, so I'm going to live with it, but this is the danger. The purists will scream. This is the danger easier when you add those extra playoff teams. The NFL has figured it out. The NBA's always got 500 teams in a postseason, which is a disgrace. And this is something now that you're going to have to deal with a little bit in baseball. With 12 teams making it, there's a chance that a couple of those teams are not going to be that good. In this year in the NL, let's face it, the Miami Marlins don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Let's call it like we see it. The Reds haven't been a playoff team. Arizona's not a playoff. The Giants are 2 games over 500. Are they a playoff team? But they're going to play for a spot now in that 6th seed scenario. And we all know once you make the playoffs, anything can happen. There's going to be the purists out there that don't like it. I understand it. I'm going to live with it. But don't expect me to go crazy on a game-to-game basis when the Marlins at 82-80 are trying to get into the playoffs over Arizona, who is 83-79. And that's the point as far as the 4 teams for the 1 spot right now in the NL. Phillies, I think, will host. Tampa, I think, will host. I think Baltimore is going to end up winning the division. I think the Cubs are going to play the Phillies in a 3-game series. And, I'm not sure who's going to play Tampa, but the better team is going to have to play the Rays, and the worst team is going to get an easier matchup with Minnesota. That's where we are at the postseason in both leagues. And the last thing I should mention is the Dodgers. Now you have an issue, the second one now for Urias, of course, the pitcher. Who knows? But now there's an investigation. He's not going to make the road trip. $50,000 bond. I don't think you're going to see him. I would be very surprised if you're going to see him. And the Dodgers can ill afford it. They had a bad weekend against the Braves anyway, where their starting pitching outside of Sunday wasn't very good. They lost 3 out of 4. They're going to be the 2 seed, no issues there. But they have a great offense. Betts and Freeman, we know. And I think Acuna should win the MVP, by the way. He was the better player this weekend over Betts. We shall see if he wins it. But the bottom line is this is a big hurt for the Dodgers. Terrible off the field. We understand that. That's most important. I get it. But from a standpoint of, tangible, the Dodgers losing a pitcher, they can ill afford that as they head to the postseason. So I think that's a significant aspect of it here, too, from the weekend scenario. So the Dodgers issues for them. The NL wild card, that last spot we keep an eye on. And, of course, Texas right now, very interesting.